Hello and welcome. Let me start with a simple question. What if you need to move your applications to the cloud quickly, but you don't have time or budget to change the code or architecture? Maybe your data center contract is ending, or your hardware is getting old. You just want to run the same application, but in the cloud. That's where the lift and shift strategy comes in. Also called Rehost, lift and shift means taking your application and moving it to the cloud as it is. You don't change the core logic or architecture. You just recreate your current environment in the cloud and start running it there. This approach can help reduce time, cost, and risk. But let's be clear, it's not as simple as copying files from one place to another. Before we proceed, if you find this content helpful, please like and subscribe. Your support helps grow our community and signals to YouTube that this channel provides valuable information. I very appreciate your help in sharing knowledge. In theory, the idea is very easy. First, you set up a compatible environment in the cloud. If your applications run on Linux, then you create a Linux virtual machines. If you need Windows, use a Windows virtual machines. You install the same system settings, libraries, and other tools your application needs. Then you move the application, copy the files, configurations, and services. For example, if you run a .NET application on Internet Information Server, make sure that the Internet Information Server is ready in the cloud and has all the right settings and components. You do the same with the database. If you use MySQL or SQL Server, you can set up the same database engine in the cloud and move your data using backups or replication. Some teams prefer using cloud-managed databases, but that requires more setup and testing to make sure that application still works as expected. In some cases, it's even faster to move the entire virtual machine image. You create a snapshot of your existing machine and launch it in the cloud. The whole environment comes with it: applications, operation system, configs, and everything else. From an infrastructure point of view, you will try to replicate your current setup. That means creation virtual machines with the same CPU, memory, and disk space. You will also recreate your network setup, including private networks, subnets, firewall roles, and load balancer, etc. Tools like AWS Server Migration Service or Azure Site Recovery help automate this process. Now, let's talk about what happens in real life. Most of the time, you will face problems during lift and shift. One of the biggest issues is hidden dependencies. Maybe your application talks to another internal service or uses a license server running somewhere you forgot about. If you miss this, the application may break once it's in the cloud. Performance is another big risk. Maybe the application worked great in your data center, but in the cloud it runs slower. Maybe the disk input-output is different. Maybe the network latency is higher. Or maybe the CPU type is not optimized for your workload. Security can also cause trouble. Your firewall settings might not match the cloud provider's networks. A service that was only available locally might now be exposed to the internet by mistake. This can create serious risks if not handled properly. So yes, lift and shift is simple in theory, but in practice, It requires strong planning. You need to test each part, check how your application behaves in the cloud, monitor performance, make sure backups work, and always have a rollback plan in case something goes wrong. Why use lift and shift at all? Because it's a fast way to move to the cloud. It works well when you need to migrate quickly due to deadlines. You don't want to rewrite legacy applications. You want to exit the data center and reduce physical hardware costs. But I always recommend next. Track lift and shift is phase one. Once your applications is running in the cloud, start thinking about what to improve. Maybe you can switch to managed services, maybe you can scale better, or maybe you can simplify the setup over time. In short, lift and shift is a good way to start your cloud journey, but not the best way to finish it. You gain the cloud benefits quickly, but you still carry some of the old problems with you. Thank you for watching and see you next time.